Hello everyone, this is Bruce from Kraken Gypsies. Today we'll be playing Jhin versus Teemo. As you can see, we have a level 2 Jhin. He is 1 star. We'll see how this goes. Alright, getting into it, we're still learning Jhin's deck. If we click right here, we'll be able to see it. You could also click before this, like on the champion itself, like on the same tab that you're, buffing them and looking at their upgrades and stuff. You can actually see their starter deck. That being said, we start with Thermogenic Beam, Crackshot Corsair, Boom Crew Rookie, Mystic Shot, Stagehand, Avarosan Marksman, Mana Soul Student, 2 copies of Jhin, and Yone. We are level 2, so our Boom Crew Rookie has a pickaxe, which might come in handy. Onwards to our first power. Out of these 3, I think Feral Senses would be best, since whenever we use spells, every 4th spell, Jhin will create his own spell. And up first, we're up against the Boom Baboon. Out of this hand, we're kind of okay with it. We don't have that many options here, unfortunately, for Jhin. We're going to use our Feral Prescience, and we'll probably pass after that. We're going to predict the Crackshot Corsair so we can actually summon something. Alright, it is our defensive round. We are going to drop down Boom Crew Rookie. We're going to use it to block the Zonite Urchin. And now we're going to use Feral Prescience again. We are going to draw Mystic Shot. And we're going to pass. Alright. We're now going to drop down to Mana Soul Student.
There's magic, and then there's me.
Unfortunately, burst spells don't count towards its skill. We're going to select Jhin here. And we're going to pass. Since they have a slow spell, we can attack during that, which is okay. We are going to attack with the Mana Soul Student. I was going to attack with the Boom Crew Rookie, but since they dropped down 2 Scrap Scuttlers, I can't do that anymore without risk losing it. Alright, so now round 4. We now have Jhin. They immediately attacked here. We're going to predict. We're going to predict a Thermogenic Beam here. We're going to block the Flame Trompers with our Boom Crew Rookie. And, I mean, we could just eat all 3 of the damage here, to be honest. I think we'd be fine either way.
So blue. Are you new? Where are you from? Your aura is so... that's so
Alright, we're gonna do things like this. And now, instead of dropping Jhin this turn, we're going to drop down the Avarosan Marksman.
There it is.
And get rid of the Scrap Scuttler.
Gotcha.
We also got some damage drop on their Nexus from Jhin's power. We're going to drop down Jhin. Actually, we're going to... So if we attack first, it'll be just enough damage. We're going to do that, actually. Yeah, that was a better option rather than summoning Jhin. Okay, so moving on from there, we have these 3 options. None of them are good. We're going to reroll. Once again, none of these are great. I can go with Starlit Seer. I think that works the best here. And now we're going to go into the support champion node. So out of these 3, I think Aphelios actually works the best with us because of all of its spells. Alright, so from here we have to choose between a healer node and the Practical Perfectionist. We're going to go against the Back Alley Barkeep because I'd rather go and get the Practical Perfectionist. It's a special occurrence. We'll find out what it does after this. Alright, this is our starting hand. We want to replace Yone. We'll replace the Mountain Goat as well. We're going to use Feral Prescience. We are going to predict Aphelios. And we're going to drop down to Crackshot Corsair.
The wings off a bilge wasp.
And we'll end the round there. We'll now use Feral Prescience again. This time we'll draw the Boom Crew rookie. We'll drop down... Yeah, we'll drop down the Mountain Goat.
We playing bilge rules, son?
And now we want to attack with the Mountain Goat. And we'll end the round there. Feral Prescience into Aphelios. We're going to pick Jhin here, though. Now we drop down Aphelios. And we want to phase in Severum.
Embrace the night, Aphelios.
Give us some room.
Since it only has 1 damage, we're actually going to block with the Mountain Goat. Since its strike will give us gem.
Scratched.
We also clear that unit off the board as well. Once again, we want to use Feral Prescience before we take any actions. We want to draw the Avarosan Marksman here. And we're going to drop down Jhin.
The stage is set.
Welcome.
We want to attack with everyone except the Crackshot Corsair.
Beautiful, is it not?
Jhin's skill destroys the Daring Poro that they had. If we do use Thermogenic Beam here, we'll get the Lotus Trap, which will do 1 to the Nexus. It's not useful right now, so we'll hold off on that.
You won't believe what Pilties throw away.
Okay, we're going to drop down to Feral Prescience as usual. This time we're going to select Yone. We are going to use our gem on Jhin. And we will use another gem on our Mountain Goat. And now we'll use Thermogenic Beam on the Sump Snipe Scavenger. That's hard to say fast.
I will give them a show to remember.
And now Jhin uses his spell.
I'm sorry.
And that stuns the Slotbot, which means we don't have to worry about anything. We're going to use Feral Prescience as usual. Into Starlit Seer. We are going to drop down the Stagehand to stun the Slotbot.
But I am ready.
Embrace it. Your adoring public awaits.
How y'all doing tonight?
Unfortunately, we do lose the Crackshot Corsair here. That's okay. We're going to use Captive Audience. We're going to deal... Damn. I was going to deal 3 to the Campunk Shredder, but since it rearranges stats, I can't do that anymore.
Special.
We're going to use Captive Audience on it and into Thermogenic Beam. This gets off 1 more Nexus damage, which is good for us. And now we're going to attack with everyone.
Believe, Aphelios.
Show's over.
4. And with that, perfection.
Alright, we now have the rewards here. We are going to go for the Cloven Way. I think that's the best option here. Alright, and now we're going to go into the Practical Perfectionist. She offers to make some flawless copies, create 3 copies of a card in your deck, or we can learn how to make copies ourselves. That's not terrible, but all of our stuff works off of fast or slow spells rather than burst spells. That being said, I think I'm still going to go for the Everosan Marksman. And now we're up against the Mechanized Mimic. We have a pretty good hand here. We just might not be able to do anything turn 1, per se. That's okay. Unless we draw the Crack Shot Corsair, which we didn't. Since turn 2 is next, we're going to go for the Boom Crew Rookie. And we're going to pass. The reason why I wanted that is because if we used the Stage Hand immediately, it would just get destroyed since it's our defensive turn and it's an ephemeral unit.
That's always been
We'll defend and use Frail Prescience. Here we're going to draw the Starlit Seer. And we'll commit to that attack. And we'll pass there. Alright. This time we're going to use Starlit Seer.
We see through all.
Into Feral Prescience. And this is going to buff the next unit that we draw. With +1/+1 from the Seer's special. We are going to choose an Empowered Jhin.
This would be a good winter.
Now, we're going to attack with both here.
Just gonna put this here.
I figured they'd choose to defend
I hope this
against
works.
the Boom Kuroki. This makes it so they destroy themselves. We still get some Nexus damage off from his skill, though.
Smoke screens for everybody.
Okay, they dropped down the Class Cutter. We're going to use Feral Prescience. And we are going to draw a Mountain Goat.
Blessed by snow and stars.
And now we're going to drop down Jhin.
I will showcase the beauty of tragedy.
And we'll end there. The reason why Jhin stuns on summon is because I have Everfrost on him. Which then helps with his skills. As per usual, Feral Prescience. This time into Everosan Marksman.
This would be a good winter.
And now we're going to use the Cloven Way. We're going to stun the Class Cutter.
I have prepared something very special.
Who will explore the unknown with Orlando?
They do summon another unit here. This is kind of a risky fight. But I don't mind taking this fight either way.
The curtain rises.
They're going to have to defend with the Charming Guild member, which is okay. We get rid of the Class Cutter for free.
Danger!
I'm going to use Captive Audience. No matter which Captive Audience I decide to use, it'll be fine.
Auspicious season.
To the unknown.
And that saves Jhin. And it clears the board pretty nice.
To stop.
Alright. Feral Prescience. Mana Soul Student. We're going to check how many cards we have. We have 20 cards. That's not bad. We're going to drop down the... See, this is actually the predicament here. So we could use the Stage Hand to block instead of taking the 1 damage. But we're going to drop down the Mana Soul
I
Student
can see the magic. Broke my hand, so I got a new one.
into the Everosan Marksman. And we are going to destroy the Armed Gearhead.
There it is.
Beautiful, is it not?
All the skills hit for 2 Nexus damage.
Evolve me. You know what my future is?
We'll pass there. They get 1 free damage off from the 9 droid. We are going to block with the Cloven Way. So we only took 1 damage off that. We're going to use Feral Prescience. We are going to select Everos and Marksman.
Season.
We're going to attack immediately.
Our performance begins.
Use Captive Audience to destroy an Android, and that will begin.
prepared something very special. We must all play our part.
You won't scratch me!
Alright. We might as well use another Captive Audience here. Just for fun.
Blessed by snow and stars.
On a glowing beam.
Hunted down.
You have been a marvelous audience.
So here we could get Bloody Business, but we don't have that many units at 5 power. I'm going to look through our cards. I don't think we have many. I think Yone's one of them, but that's about it. Oh, and the Cloven Way. Yeah, so it's just the Cloven Way and Yone that would be able to use Bloody Business. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to select the Maker. And the Maker, yeah, it will recall a unit with less power. However, it has Elusive, and it'll be able to take out Teemo in the upcoming fight. Alright, so we have the Champion item chest here. None of these are great. We're going to reroll. Okay, off of this, we're going to go for Overwhelm on Jhin. And now we're going to go into an Epic shop. It's epic because it's purple. Out of these, none of these are inherently bad. We're going to check out the powers, though. Mana Flow is really good here. However, if I got the Maker with Black Cleaver, it would be equally as good, in my opinion. But since we only have the Crackshot Corsair as a 1 cost, Mana Flow is actually really big for us. We're going to go into the healer, and we are going to heal too. I wanted to check what cards we can cut before I skipped.
Captain Teemo.
And now we're into Teemo. Alright, so we are going to start with 2 mana. We don't need a Mountain Goat immediately. We can keep the Marksman, and we don't need Mystic Shot immediately. Well, that's unfortunate. We only got Marksman and Jhin. That's okay. Oh, yeah, we can't do anything turn 1, and they're just gonna blast us with Teemo.
Prepared for anything.
Oh, okay. Never mind, we're okay. Alright, so we are going to draw the Mana Soul Student. We're going to use Thermogenic Beam on Teemo to get rid of him immediately. This also gets Jhin going
Vandal Scout never.
into his level up. And we can end around there. We don't have to worry about anything. Okay, so here we're going to drop down the Mana Soul Student.
Whoa, I can see the magic.
Astounding curiosities lie ahead.
And into Feral Prescience. We're going to select Aphelios. And we aren't going to attack, since if we do, the Contrologist will block. And Mana Soul Student's one of the ways that we do Nexus damage. We now want to drop down Jhin.
I will showcase the beauty of tragedy.
So because I have Everfrost on Jhin, dropping him down on our attack turn is more beneficial than defensive turn. But I still think, like, out of my options here, Jin's the only one who's able to defend. And unfortunately, he gets destroyed here.
Oh dear.
We do draw a Jhin again anyways, which is good. We are going to use Feral Prescience here. We're going to draw the Maker. We're going to drop down Jhin.
The stage is set.
Now, we could have dropped down the Cloven Way here.
A thing. Elle, that's not ours.
Okay, well, they got rid of the Cloven Way. That's
I
unfortunate
never
for us.
The curtain rises.
We're going to attack with only
I
Jhin.
have prepared something very special.
We're going to resolve. That gets rid of the Puff Cap Pup. We do 1 Nexus damage. And we stun our blocker. Since we have Overwhelm, we do damage to the Nexus.
What wondrous discoveries await below?
Alright, so here we're going to drop down the Maker. We are going to recall the Aloof Travelers.
If not her divine work.
I promise it will be immortalized in our performance.
They use some fumes to get rid of her. That's okay. We're going to use Captive Audience here then. And Captive Audience A to destroy the Aloof Travelers. And now we're going to use Feral Prescience. And we are going to draw Mystic Shot. And we'll commit to that.
Beautiful, is it not?
Elle, wait up! Magnificent.
Since Jhin stuns and since they used all their mana, they can't do anything this turn, which brings us to end round. Okay. We are going to drop down for our pre-science immediately. We're going to select Mystic Shot once again. We're going to attack with everyone
Broad history.
this time around. And we're going to commit to that.
I can, help.
My next act will be sublime.
There we go. Jhin levels up.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
We are now going to Mystic Shot the Contrologist. Actually, no we're not. We're going to Mystic Shot their Nexus. We're going to use Captive Audience on the Contrologist. And we'll commit to that.
I will give them a show to remember.
My research!
Since Jhin levels up, we now do damage to their Nexus. We beat Teemo with full Nexus health. I'd say that's pretty good. We also level up from this. We only get an A, and that's okay. And we didn't beat our fastest time. Alright, this is Bruce from Kraken Gypsies. I'll be back later for more Jhin videos, as well as other Path of Champions videos. We hope that you enjoy, and if you did, feel free to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, feel free to check us out on Twitch. The link's in the description below. Take care, everyone. Stay Kraken.